You dumb, beautiful fucker.
Who wants to be in America's slash fic with Abraham Lincoln?
Louisiana Purchase, that's a name.
You need to really get off my balls, okay? I'm gonna kick your ass.
Also, why was Michelangelo so stinky? Ew.
Hello everyone, welcome to AllYouCanHear podcast. I'll be your host today, Patrick. And today we have a very special episode for you. Since the lads are still taking some time off for the holidays, what we decided to do instead of a regular numbered episode is that we'd finally pull an episode we've been talking about, joking about for a long time out of the vault and release it for you to listen to today. That is the fabled DrunkCast. So what we have for you is an episode that we recorded back in the summer of 2020 or around early August at a house party that Jonathan, Cannon, Liz, and I all threw at our house. And we were feeling bold enough and encouraged enough to do a live episode with a bunch of our friends during a house party. And that's what this episode will be. Now, of course, there is some background noise. We figured it'd be just very minimal, but that's not something to keep in mind as you listen. It's not too invasive to the actual show. So what you're going to hear is Jonathan and myself talking and introducing some new voices of our friends who haven't been on the show and some people you haven't heard for some time. So it's a very strange, wild ride. So we hope you enjoyed this very fun, if chaotic episode of AllYouCanHear podcast. But if you listen this long, you're well accustomed to the chaos. So thank you and enjoy the show.
You ready?
We're already recording.
We're already recording?
Yeah.
All right, listen up. This is a very special episode of the AllYouCanHear podcast where every single person in attendance is going to be butt the fuck drunk tonight. And we're gonna go through the ranks of the drunken crew and let everybody say their piece for the internet. All right. My name is Patrick, aka John lost his name, and we got Jonathan on the soundboard tonight.
Yeah, my name's Jonathan. You can call me Jolene.
We have tonight our first time guest, a first time podcaster. We have Lindsay of the roller rink of Tuscaloosa.
She kicks asses.
Hold on, Lindsay's talking. All right, introduce yourself and say a little piece for the DrunkCast tonight.
The DrunkCast. That's fantastic. I'm probably not as drunk as most everybody else, but I'm gonna give it my best shot for the DrunkCast. I'm gonna try to make y'all proud. I'm not straight from the roller rink, but I am a roller derby player. I play for the Druid City Dames. Fucking Druid City Dames. Woo! Woo! Yeah! Druid City Dames out of Tuscaloosa. So, yeah. What else do you want to know?
I'm just so proud that a girl I went to school with ended up helping start a roller derby league, and now there's all these like badass biddies who just shoulder check bitches in the tri-state area, and it's like, you know, you came to the crib tonight looking like a goddamn like spring goddess with your crown, with your wig and everything tonight, and I appreciate the fuck out of you tonight, Lindsay.
I love it. I love that y'all all have called me a spring goddess all night, and this is my goth crown. This is like my black roses and dark red and like.
The goddess of spring and death.
Okay, well I'll take it.
Persephone literally translates to bringer of death.
I love it. Okay, well I'll take it. I haven't corrected any of you because I'm like, yeah, I'll take it, whatever. I'll love it. Absolutely. So, but yeah, I'm bringing it on. Who did you go to high school with that started the?
I went to the high school with Megan.
Who I'm assuming is Megan now.
Yes.
That absolutely. She started our team. That's fantastic. I didn't know that. That's amazing. She's fantastic. I cannot. With all the COVID that's going on, I cannot wait to get back on the track. I cannot tell you how much I miss getting hit by people and how much I miss hitting people. I want to get hit so bad. That doesn't do it.
Roll motherfucking Tide.
Close. Roll motherfucking Tide. That's correct. I agree with that.
Hey, everybody in the house tonight that love their motherfucking Tide, they say, Roll Tide! Roll Tide! Goddamn right.
That's right. Absolutely. No, I'm super excited to be here and glad y'all all think I look like a goddess because I think I went overboard with the eyeliner underneath my eyes. So,
Hey, you can never have too much eyeliner.
see, I tend to agree with that, but when I was doing this in a hurry tonight, so I was kind of like, I tend to think Jacob's makeup looks better than mine tonight, and I did his first, so I tend to think that his looks better than mine, but you know.
You know what? You're a spring goddess, and nobody can tell us otherwise.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate it.
All right, Lindsay, tell everyone where we can find you tonight on Twitter, on like all the socials. Where can people find you?
Singularly, nowhere. I suck at social media, but you can find us on Shield and Shadow on Instagram because that's where me and Jacob have both of our things. And Jacob's everywhere, and I'm generally somewhere where he is. So if you find him, you find me. He's Shield and Shadow and Druid City Drinker on Instagram, and we are Shield and Shadow. And I don't know about Twitter. I don't think he has a Twitter.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on the DrunkCast, Lindsay. You're a bomb ass bitch, and we love the fuck out of you. Everybody say what for Lindsay tonight?
I love you guys. I love y'all.
Love you. All right, who else wants to be on the DrunkCast tonight? Step up to the chair.
Okay, we're doing a karaoke bit, but we'll be right back after these messages.
Well, hey there, folks. Do you like mugs, t-shirts, phone cases, stickers, wall art, pillows, all sorts of fun things with fun logos? Well, if you do, head on down to tpublic.com/user/caging-greatness for all sorts of great merchandise and support your local creators. That's us! Hooray!
All right, our next guest tonight is a tattoo artist extraordinaire. You know him from a previous episode of AllYouCanHear podcast.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. We have Luke. How are you tonight, Luke?
I'm incredible. I'm just surrounded by people I love, and it's been a fantastic night.
I mean, like, Luke, you're a beautiful, talented man, and I'm so glad you can join us tonight.
Same to you.
Oh, well, thank you, sir.
Same to you, man.
So, what would you like to tell us that you've been up to since you last been on the show?
Since last time I've been up to the show, man, I've just been worrying about tattoos, and then at an art show coming up, and it's been a little bit canceled since the COVID thing happened, right? But it's looking great. Like there may be a new date to come up.
Hell yeah!
But it's looking good. I can't wait for what comes up next. You know, I'm looking forward to what comes up next, basically.
You know, Luke, we're damn proud of you for just being like such an accomplished artist. You know, working from the ground up to be just like this beautiful tattoo artist, beautiful person, having your own art show, just like exponentially increasing your ability over the last few years. It's been just like a wonderful thing to watch.
I'm going to say this. Since you said that, I couldn't do it without watching. I don't see myself like that way, but I'm happy that y'all do. But I couldn't do it without seeing you, Liz, and everyone else like participating and like showing off their art and making a livelihood out of it, if you will. You know, you just it's a hobby that y'all go for. Thank you. They all go for it, and I appreciate that 100%, and I respect that, and that's what I'm aiming for is to go for what y'all achieve.
Like that means a lot to us, Luke. You know, you're one of our shining stars. We appreciate everything you've done. We look forward to your growth, and like we can't wait to see what you do in the future.
Can't wait.
All right, thank you, Luke. Where can people find you online?
Inklist, I-N-K, Ink, and then a list like Herbalist, but on Instagram. That's where you find me.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on the DrunkCast tonight.
Thank you, Pat.
Woo!
Whoop whoop.
Raise of hands. Who has seen Suicide Squad? One person.
Look, we're watching Suicide Squad at the house tomorrow night.
Oh my God. So just Lucas. I have been asked the question that netted one person right now.
Okay. All right, joining us next on the DrunkCast.
Give me another question.
We have Jacob
Liberty.
All right, Jacob, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and where people can find you. Go ahead.
I am Jacob Summers. I am okay, I'm going to lean in closer to this penis-shaped mic. I am Jacob Summers. I am a studio manager at F45 Fitness in Tuscaloosa. I aim to open my gym sometime in the next couple of months. And I am a personal trainer and studio manager. I love to make people fit and buff. And, yeah, I've done that for a couple of people in this room. So my first passion is personal training, and my second passion is Viking history. So, yeah.
Hell yeah, because tonight I want people to know that you actually came in like somewhat Viking regalia. Will you talk about that?
Somewhat, and then I have a tunic that is a little bit shorter than I intend for it to be. It's not like mini skirt level or anything like that, but it is definitely shorter than, say, the other member who is here's tunic, and that's okay. That's fine. And then pants and some necklaces and some belts and some belts. I already said belts and some boots. So yeah, I came in Viking regalia. I love Viking history, and I'm definitely fascinated with that and mythology. So I like to be accurate. So, yep.
How did you first get interested in Viking culture and mythology?
Ooh, how deep do you want me to get?
You know, have a succinct enough answer for the audience tonight.
I like everything related to Viking mythology. Some things I resonate with more, some things I resonate with less. And based on that, I started looking into the history. Everything I do, fitness or Viking-wise, is a passion. And with passions, I tend to get very, very thorough and intense with it. So, yeah. So.
You know what? Because, we're damn proud of you for, not only just being, a very positive and dedicated portion of yourself, but helping others sort of reach their own physical and mental potential with your gym that you started recently.
Yeah, no, I try to motivate people to be the best version of themselves, and that best version does not have to be swimming the English Channel. It does not have to be completing their nearest triathlon in the quickest time. It just has to be getting out there and trying to do their best in the quickest amount of time that they can. Because, honestly, most of these sports, Olympic, World's Strongest Man, triathlon times, the only way they get pushed forward is by every single person who competes trying to do their hardest and pushing the sport forward. So, you may think you don't matter, but you do.
Hell yeah, man. I really appreciate you. You're a great guy. And we love you that you're finally on the DrunkCast at least.
Yeah, I mean, fucking finally.
All right. You know, since you're all blitzed to tits right now, go ahead and let everybody know where people can find you online.
Oh, shit. So you're going to ask me to plug myself while I'm drunk. Okay, so you can find me at Bars and Stripes Fitness pretty much on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. What other social media is out there?
Twitter, Instagram, all that.
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram. I think it's Bars in Stripes Fitness on Twitter, but it's definitely Bars and Stripes Fitness on Instagram. Basically, just type Bars and Stripes Fitness. And you can find me on pretty much any social media platform. And we try to provide entertaining content as well as educational content. So.
Hell yeah, Jacob. We're so glad we can have you tonight on the DrunkCast. Take care. Drink some more, why don't you?
All right, outside. Love you, Pat.
All right, everybody. Who wants to be on the DrunkCast next? All right, make sure you're speaking to the butt.
Hello.
Joining us today is our friend from Huntsville, Alabama, 2.5 hours north of us. We have Baby Bird Nick. How are you, Baby Bird?
I'm drunk.
You goddamn right you are. So, Baby Bird, tell us a little bit why you're here, what you do, and what you like, and where people can find you.
Oh dear, that's a lot. So to start off, why I'm here is for my friends. I'm here to get drunk. I haven't been drunk in a hot second. What was the other question? I'm really drunk. I'm sorry. I'm bad at these. I don't get interviewed. Let's see. What I do, I try to write when I find time. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot, but I do try. So, have y'all heard about the hit MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV?
What's that?
Have you heard of the hit MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV? Available for free.
Final Fantasy XIV, that does sound familiar in my ear.
Oh, yeah, it's a bop. I fucking love it. It's so goddamn good. It's like genuinely good. It's almost made me cry 3 times, and then it made me cry once. That's big. That's big news. So, here's the thing. Like, even as hyped as it is, I still feel like it's underhyped. It is so good. I really cannot emphasize it enough. They couldn't pay me to, like, sell this game, because I'd be selling it for fucking free. It's so good. So good. But, why don't you tell me about yourself? Now I'm interviewing you, Pat. What do you do?
What do I do?
Yes. What do you do?
Well, it ain't easy being the second in line CEO of a podcast network.
Yes.
When I have to be the head of the line, the tip of the spear for 3 shows. Mm-hmm. We got All You Can Hear podcast.
Yeah.
We have Caging Greatness. We have the Late Takes. Which in the grand scheme of things, we might be the most prolific podcast in the history of Alabama.
Yes.
With just on the main show alone, All You Can Hear, 283 episodes.
283?
283. We have been recording consistently without missing a week since the fall of 2017.
That is crazy.
Yep.
I mean, I can't believe that. 283. That's unfathomable.
That's right. We, on average, create 60 episodes a year.
60? Whack. So we all know about All You Can Hear. We know about Cajun Greatness. It's self-explanatory. Tell me about this late night podcast.
The Late Takes.
Late Takes.
This is actually our newest spinoff.
Newest.
It features the one of the co-creators of the program.
Mm-hmm.
Tanner, as he has a late night talk show style interview with many of his friends and co-patriots from real life, from Instagram, Twitter, and just online in general, as he has like in-depth conversations with everybody involved.
Yeah.
It sort of like gives them a platform to talk about the things that are unique and perspectives to them.
Oh, that's super interesting. I like that a lot. So let's assume that I was born in 1997. Let's just assume that.
I'm assuming pretty hard right now.
Oh yeah. Let's just assume that. So, with this assumption, how does this late night talk differ from like other podcasts? Like, explain the late night format. I'm unfamiliar with it.
Well, I don't want to put words in Tanner's mouth.
Okay.
But with this format, he wants to have something interesting and progressive to say about all of his hosts from Twitter, from his years, I would say over 10 years of being online, chronically online, as he talked to his friends, mostly from the wrestling sphere, about their thoughts, their opinions, and also playing a few games, and also having a few food-based journeys on their show throughout town, as they sort of bring their perspective and taste buds to a wider audience.
I mean, I think it's important to talk about food. Food is something, I think, that brings everybody together. Everybody can agree on good and bad food. So I think it's good to talk about, especially local places, because everybody knows the good eats. Everybody knows, like, these big franchises, shit like that. But I think small businesses who are trying to find their footing need to get the word out. So I think it's good. I think it's good to get all the word out on food. Food is amazing. I love it. Yeah.
If you love food, if you love hearing ASMR where people eating like wet, sloppy food directly into the mic, I think the late takeouts, the heretofore unreleased food-based content from the late takes, our second spin-off show on the AYCH network. I think you have a great time with that.
I think so too. So, Pat, you do a lot of these things. You're like a big CEO guy. Is it hard running these podcasts? Do you like, even if, say, one of you is sick, is that still hard to do? Like, do you feel like you have to force yourself to be on these podcasts?
I would say there is some difficulty of like keeping the schedule for the main show, but also being present and capable of like contributing and like counseling for the secondary shows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think that's one of the hardest parts of the artistic process is just being able to do it. Because something I've always heard, and don't quote me on this, but it's that at some point it's not so much a passion as much as it is a duty. Do you feel that? Do you feel that with these podcasts? Do they feel like a duty to you, something you have to do?
I mean, there is a certain level of obligation, but at the end of the day, we still really enjoy what we do. We've been doing this for 4 years now. Like, it is a hobby, but it's a very involved hobby. And, like, we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't enjoy just, like, hanging out, putting our, like, thoughts and banter on the air every single week. So, like, it's still very much a great time for us.
Oh, absolutely. I think that even bringing guests on is also a great move because I think a lot of people have opinions that they want to share and talk about, but don't really have an outlet for. And I think podcasts are an excellent way to sort of explore these avenues that otherwise they cannot do. So I do think that you're doing good work. I appreciate it. Well, is there anything you'd like to leave us on, Pat?
I think podcasts are great. That everyone has a place and a mind and sort of their own level of interest. They can sort of put it out there in the world, and you don't have to worry about like numbers and distribution. At the end of the day, if you're enjoying what you're doing and your friends are enjoying what you're doing, and just like you're just having fun putting your thoughts out there in the world, that's all that matters. Followers, like retweets and all that, that in itself is insignificant to the time you spent with your friends. At the end of the day, regardless of whether or not you're famous and successful in the grand scheme of things, what you're going to have at the end of the day is just sort of record of a time with your friends and just like hanging out, shooting the shit, and like to me that's the most important thing. Just sort of this record of a period of your time, because like once it's on there, it's on the internet for perpetuity, and like just be able to go back to that anytime you want, and just see the snapshot in you and your friends' lives. Like to me, that's the most fun thing.
Absolutely. I think, like, on speaking from my own experience, I don't think that, even though we're all online, even myself, I don't put a lot of myself out there. Like, I share a lot of memes, I share a lot of shit posts, I share my thoughts every now and again, but I don't really share my true opinions a lot. So, I absolutely agree, and I feel that it is important, this documentation, in some form or fashion, because then you see how these people, like, let's say, hundreds of years in the future, thousands of years in the future, somebody will stumble across it, and they'll eventually come to consensus. This is how these people live. These are the thoughts that have been categorized and put down and actually thought about. So, you know, I think that's underappreciated nowadays. This idea of, I'm struggling to find the words here, but this idea of, gosh, I am struggling, but I'm also slightly drunk, so it's understandable. But the idea of just documenting your life, I think, is very important. So thank you for this interview, Pat. It's been good interviewing you.
Honestly, like it's a great time to be able to talk with you, Nick, because not only just like I get to see you for the first time in several months, but also you get to share your opinions online and just sort of come up, even though this is a wacky, crazy bullshit episode, to give some really cromulent, thoughtful feelings in the middle of this hootenanny. I think that's really, a great example of who you are as a person and what you become, and just like a nice sort of a show of the spectrum of who we are as a group.
Absolutely, I agree. I just love this group so much, and I'm just happy to be here.
And we would definitely love to have you on an actual podcast where we're not blitzed to tits.
Oh, I would love to be on an actual podcast, because one of my favorite things to do, if you haven't noticed, is talking. I never shut the fuck up. So I would love to be on your podcast. Just give me a time. Really, it's just a matter of, like, I could literally use a vacation and just come down here and shoot the shit. I would love it.
We'd love to have you, Nick. Thank you much for joining. Thanks so much for practically interviewing me on this show.
Oh yeah, I think the people behind who are doing the work, I think their thoughts are important too, including the people that you bring on. And you don't get to talk about your thoughts very much.
Yeah.
Well, outside of the normal, of course. But anyway, it's been great interviewing. Thank you, Pat.
I'm glad you flew all the way down to Tuscaloosa to talk to us tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Pissing your pants. We're so glad you joined us.
Oh yeah, I've shit my pants 3 times.
Hell yeah.
So that was the DrunkCast, everybody. We hope you enjoyed this very special episode. This was something we've been talking about for a long time, and somehow we managed to pull it off, and it's a pretty coherent episode, even if some of the things might be a little dated, of course, or since that was originally recorded in August of 2020. But I think that was a pretty solid episode, despite the drunken shenanigans. So we want to thank you so much for listening to this, and we hope you listen to everything we have coming forward in the year 2022. We have a lot of fun headed your way, and we're very excited to see what the new year brings. Before we go, I did want to give the socials and for our guests today on the DrunkCast. You can follow Lindsay on Instagram at Crimson City Siren. You can follow Luke on Instagram at Inkalist _ INKALIST _ You can follow Jacob at Jacob Super Soldier Summers on Instagram. Also, Jacob Lindsay have a brand new gym, physical fitness program that they're starting called Bars and Stripe Fitness. Please follow them on all their social media. They're doing a great job getting people a healthier and more fit lifestyle, perfect for anyone looking to start the new year with a new regimen, and Jacob and Lindsay will definitely help you out with that. Our final guest, that's Nick. You can follow him on Instagram at the Arch Goblin, and we'll have all these links in the description of this week's episode. So once again, thank you all so much for listening today. You can follow us wherever podcasts are found. That's SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe on all those places. Keeps us visible, puts us in front of you listeners. And of course, we always appreciate you when you do that. Follow us on our socials. That's Twitter and Instagram at AYCH Podcast, Facebook and Letterboxd at AllYouCanHear. Next week, we'll be back to regular form with a brand new numbered episode of AllYouCanHear Podcast. So stay safe, have a good night, and we'll be talking to you very soon. Bye.